cultural evolution of storytelling. From orality to print and beyond. In my presentation, I hope to explore storytelling's journey and evolution alongside human culture, from orality to print, and finish in the present digital age. Stories work with people, for people, and work on people, affecting what individuals and collective groups are able to see as real, as worth doing, or what best to avoid. Stories hold a valuable place in human existence. Stories have been shared in every culture as a means of entertainment, education, cultural preservation, and in order to instill moral values. In his work, Zeep states that, though it is impossible to trace the historical origins and evolutions of storytelling to a particular time and place, we do know that human beings began telling tales as soon as they developed the capacity of speech. They may have even used sign language before speech originated to communicate vital information for adapting to their environment. The first humans also told stories with pictures. The stories they told were about survival and meeting human needs. It has been said that humans have a natural, ingrained desire to tell stories and share knowledge. Fast forward 10,000 years to ancient Greek poets like Homer, who recited stories in spoken word. Hugo states that with the introduction of print, human thought would change its mode of expression, that the principal idea for each generation would no longer write itself with the same material and in the same way, that the book of stone, so solid and durable, would give place to the book made of paper, yet more solid and durable. Though print was initially only accessible to the church and upper classes, a shift did eventually happen to enable access to the general public. Printed text allowed for knowledge and stories to reach many more people. In turn, the public knowledge expanded, with an overall result in social and cultural change. Bolter refers to the industrial age of print as a time when writers and publishers were taking advantage of the mechanized presses to create mass publication newspapers, magazines, and novels. There's no denying the powerful influence the creation of print and in turn books has had on education. Learning through print and literacy became much more accessible on a global scale. The same can be said about storytelling. Stories expanded their reach alongside print and books. Because of this global expansion, stories were influenced and adapted by the people and cultures they came into contact with. In The Evolution of Storytelling and Fairy Tales, Zepes examines the cultural evolution of stories. He states, all tales want to be relevant in the same way that we seek to make ourselves relevant through storytelling. Tales do not have agency. They are not alive, but they breathe and are vigorous. And as they are passed on to us through traditions of storytelling, they almost assume a life of their own. Take, for example, the story of Cinderella, arguably one of the most popular and globally told of all the classical fairy tale narratives. Certain fairy tales rise to fore in our minds in Western culture, assuming a specific status as a classical and traditional. Some of these tales, such as Cinderella, Snow White, Little Red Riding Hood, Puss in Boots, and Beauty and the Beast, just to name a few, are so well known and have spread widely in the world in all kinds of mediated forms that they appear to be universal memes. A meme, in this case, a heard or read story, acts as a unit for carrying cultural ideas, symbols, or practices that can be transmitted from one mind to another. With the evolution of print into books, not all viewed accessible public education as a positive development. In the words of Lemony Snicket, "The burning of a book is a sad, sad sight. Even though a book is nothing but ink and paper, it feels as if the ideas contained in the book are disappearing, as the pages turn to ashes, blacken, and curl as the flames do their wicked work. When someone is burning a book, they are showing utter contempt for all the thinking that produced its ideas, all the labor that went into its words and sentences, and all of the trouble that befell the author." Some question if the central role of reading and writing diminished the importance and practice of oral language in education and society. As we have seen in examining the history of oral storytelling, oral language has an important social function. It is an important way we connect with other people, build relationships, share our thoughts and feelings. This social function is fundamental to human existence and in itself is an important reason for developing oral language. However, in the context of education, it is well documented that oral language has an important role in the development of literacy skills, particularly for young learners. Spoken language can itself be a technology, for it can require method, most obviously in the variety of oral poetry and storytelling that have been practiced for thousands of years and are still important today in much of the developing world. It is not difficult to recognize the medieval manuscript and papyrus role as technologies. The same can be said about the printing press and typewriter, which are viewed as technologies responsible for the mechanization of writing in the industrial age of print. Remediation is a process of cultural competition between or among technologies. In Western Europe, the shift from handwritten codex to printed book was another such refashioning, and the shift to electronic writing is yet another. We might call such shift a remediation, in the sense that a new medium takes the place of an old one, borrowing and reorganizing the characteristics of writing in the older medium and reforming its cultural space.
Once upon a time, there was a kind and lovely girl called Cinderella. Can you help me put the fruit into the bowl?
Throughout the 20th century, print has engaged in contests of remediation with photography, film, and television. The qualities that distinguish electronic writing from print, flexibility and interactivity, become the basis of the enthusiast's claim that computers can improve on the printed book.
Once upon a time, there is a castle, a beautiful castle. There is a princess named Sarah and a prince named Messi. He was a soccer player.
I hope that my presentation helped you better understand the history and importance of oral language and storytelling in education.